So remember how I was complaining about deadlift day? Turns out I'm gonna complain about leg day too. And my hair looks awesome. Alright guys, so here's the deal. I did leg day. It started off decent. The warm-ups were good. But once I got into squatting, it was real awkward. I'm really not feeling confident in my squat form. I just feel like it's just not there. I don't feel like a tight core. I feel like there's something missing either about my form, or maybe it's because I had the back surgery. Also, I should mention to you guys, the video I made about my deadlift day, I talked about my back surgery. I left one key thing out. I still have hip issues. The hip issues are continuing. I work around it the best I can, and for the most part, it doesn't affect me to the point where I can't lift. It was at that point at one time in my life, but now it feels like it's subsided. But that also could be because I get pain management injections into my hip. The last time I got an injection, or the first time I got an injection, was March of 2016. It only lasted about 4 weeks. I waited a while to see the doctor again. He got me another injection after another round of physical therapy. And that didn't work. So he got me another injection, and actually that injection lasted about 2 months. I feel like it's wearing off. It started wearing off around Christmas, but it's not completely worn off. I feel like my hip can take it still. So I'm not gonna push it. That's why I'm talking to you about my squat form and how I'm gonna fix it so that way I don't hurt myself. But the only other option besides getting constant injections is to get iliopsoas lengthening surgery, and I don't really want to do that. So, going forward, I'm going to keep lifting the way I'm lifting unless something changes, and I told you guys if something changes, I'll let you know, I'll modify the workouts, you guys can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's going to be business as usual. I'm going to work on it the best I can, I'm going to go forward with the plan, and just see how it goes. I'm going to be monitoring it. I'm not going to push through anything, any pain that is, and yeah, I'm just going to keep going. So as far as the hip issue, yes, it's still ongoing, but I feel like it's manageable, and I feel like I can do the things I need to do without hurting myself further. So I'm always going to have a little bit of hip discomfort, I feel like, but it's not excruciating pain, and it's not something that keeps me from doing day-to-day activities and even lifting. It's just a little extra sore, and it gets like, some days it hurts a little bit to walk upstairs, but it usually goes away after a little while. Nothing major. It was way worse before, so either it's getting better, the injections are still working, or it's getting better. I don't know. So I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go, but I'm not going to be a hermit because I have a little bit of hip pain. So gonna push through it, gonna, you know, yeah, make sure I'm not hurting myself, but I'm gonna push through the minor pain, and just hopefully I feel good and I feel better and I keep going. I'm gonna show you guys some old video of me squatting. I've noticed that my form in the old video is very similar to the new video, with some minor changes. So I feel like I'm pretty fortunate to see this old footage and know what my form looked like, and to kind of see what's happening to, you know, make the modifications I need to make. And if that means I gotta drop back on the weight, so be it. So let's get into the video.
I'm gonna do 315, 7 sets of 5. Feel a little lighter today because my head's kind of bugging me. So it goes. My form's kind of weird on these, so we'll see. I dip forward a bit, so we'll see how it looks.
I'm still complaining about a hip injury. So that just goes to tell you, maybe I was doing something wrong the whole time. So I'm gonna go through some of this old footage and see what it was that I was doing wrong. So let's see if I can point it out. Let's see if I can figure it out. So first of all, I feel like my hips aren't all the way forward, and I think I have that problem, lifting it off the rack. The squat form doesn't look too bad from here. A couple things I'm kind of doing a hybrid low bar, high bar squat. If I'm doing a low bar, I need to bring that bar way lower on my shoulders. And my head movement needs to stay neutral. I can't be putting my head back anymore. I think I was doing that in my recent video too, the one I'm gonna show you in a moment. Same thing, I do it with this one. It might be lower on my shoulders slightly, and my stance is still pretty wide. I've noticed recently I've been doing a closer stance squat, but this is interesting. I think I'm gonna have to go back to that slightly wider stance, maybe right around shoulders, a little past shoulders. And then, like my head isn't going back as far there, but still, you can see that the bottom of the movement, my hips drop out a little too much, and then it's a little awkward. So I'm really gonna have to focus on perfecting this form. I might have been off the entire time, so we're gonna have to figure this out. So let's go into the actual workout that I completed yesterday. So you see I'm kind of like warming up without a bar, just kind of feel the movement. My legs seem like they're about shoulder width. They seem like they're about appropriate squat level. You see my back is dipping a little, my lower back. I probably don't need to go that far down. I don't know why I was practicing going that far. You know, I drop out and my hips don't have tension anymore. It's just awkward. So I go out of the rack so I can see what my bar path looks like. So my knees are going a little too far forward. That's just something that's happening. My feet are too close in this one too. My knees are tracking out, but my knees are dipping over my toes. I need to do like a Lane Norton squat, I think, and just let my back go further forward. And I need to make sure my head isn't tilting backwards. So this is another 135, it looks like. And my feet seem okay. They probably need to be a little bit further, but I keep dipping forward like that with my knees going forward. And I don't know if I was doing that in my old videos. I don't think I was doing it as bad. So that's something I need to start thinking about. I need to start practicing and seeing what I need to do to mitigate that. And that might just be hamstring mobility and you know, trying to push my hips out and backwards, you know, like pushing my ass back. So I get a little heavier here. Same thing. See, my knees are dipping way far forward. It felt so awkward. That was better. Like my knees weren't dipping forward there. Dipping forward there a little bit. But the second one was the best rep. It seemed like I wasn't dipping forward as much. I need to focus on my head too. I need to keep a neutral spine and make sure my head doesn't like push backwards. Like that's too deep, my knees are going too far forward. Like it looks like an ass to grass squat, but it's just not very good. Any person looking at this squat, other than someone who knows how to squat, would say, oh yeah, it looks like a squat, but that's not a squat. This is closer, that resembles more of a squat. That's how my neck should be, that's how my head should be. That's a little better. That seemed like a better one. Okay, those aren't as bad. I feel like I need to open up my stance a little. I need to work on my hamstring mobility. Let's see. My knees are a little further there. Let's watch my neck. Okay, that's better. No, my head tipped backwards. Yeah, so I'm getting close. I feel like I'm getting so close. These definitely felt awkward on some and good on others, and I'm noticing why. So it looks like I have good form on some and bad form on others. That might have been the best form right there. That might have been my best squat. That one, not so much. I dipped down too low. I could see my hips dropping out. Too low. The first one and that one was like the best one I've seen. So after all those squats, it's good to actually go back and look at it. This is a great tool. So now I can really see why those things weren't working. So then we went on to these leg extensions. I think I'm doing the whole rack. I told Nikki, who was working out with me, I didn't include him in any of the footage, but I told Nikki that he should start focusing on his legs by doing heavy extensions and heavy curls. I think that's what built my legs up, because my legs are still pretty big, considering, and I can still I can still do the entire rack of the leg extensions. So, I mean, yeah, great, you did leg extensions, who cares? But this, you can see like I slowly become like, my rep ranges are, my range of motion shrinks a little, but I don't know, I feel like I do it on purpose. When I'm actually doing it, I notice what I'm doing. When I look at it, it looks like there's not great range of motion. But I think when I'm sitting there feeling it, it feels right. So, I don't know, I guess that's another thing too. Like, you can't look at footage and say, oh, he's doing a proper rep. I mean, for bodybuilding, it's different. Everyone's bodies are a little different, and you can work the muscle in different ways. With like half range or full range, you know. For certain things though, it's definitely good to go full range. On leg extensions, yes and no. I feel like if you go too far forward, or if you're kicking out too hard, you can hurt your knees, but it's here and there. And then we went on to these guys. This is my other favorite exercise, my leg extension hump machine. I do these for extra glute action because I don't do enough for my glutes. So ever since I started doing these, my glutes have definitely gotten bigger and I've definitely gotten stronger in my glutes. I can actually feel them more when I'm walking, so I think that makes a difference. The big takeaway from this video, however, is my squat form. I watched a bunch of videos before I squatted and after I squatted. There's a few key elements that I'm missing that I really need to focus on, which is my setup, my feet position, and my low bar squat. Because I feel like I've always done low bar, I've always felt comfortable doing low bar, and I think my body's built for doing a low bar, but I need to really focus on doing a low bar with proper form. I'm even gonna get my belt back from my brother. I gave my belt to him after my surgery because I thought I'd never squat again. But I'm gonna get that belt back and I'm gonna start using it. I watched like the Lane Norton video on like, you know, using a belt actually doesn't hurt your abs, you know, it actually doesn't hurt your core. It might help it and protect it even more. So I could use all the help I get, so I'm gonna grab my belt back. So here's a bunch of me humping this machine, so enjoy. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about squat form more than anything. It's interesting to me because, you know, back when I was working out and I started and I was doing 315 for reps, I was like, my form has to be good, you know? I'm doing 315 for reps. Not necessarily. Maybe it was okay, but there's always things I could do to improve and, you know, make things better, easier, and more productive, really. You know, I don't want to be doing bad form squats and building muscle and hurting myself. I'd rather do amazing form squats, get stronger, and notice minimal gains in muscularity because I'd rather be safe than sorry, you know? I think most people would. Anyway, so we go on to these leg curl machines, and then we do calves. This actually is interesting because I used to be able to do extremely heavy hamstring movements, but my hamstrings are not as strong as they were before. My hamstrings were a lot stronger, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. That might just be because I haven't squatted or deadlifted, and that was a big butt that just walked by. So if you like big butts and you cannot lie, you can rewind this video and rewatch that scene. Okay, and then yeah, calves. You can see my little baby calves. I thought the wide angle lens here, or the action camera with the wide on it, would make my calves look bigger. I think it did the opposite effect. It made my calves look smaller. Anyway, guys, so that's basically the entire video. Like I said in yesterday's video, I will be going over my program, and I will be telling you guys basically what I'll be doing for all my workouts on Friday, meaning tomorrow. I'll be going over you know, my rep ranges, the exercises, and how often I'll be completing them during the week. And I just want to make sure that you guys understand that I'm not going to be going as high volume as I was before, and I will get into that in tomorrow's video. But these videos are just to show you, I guess, the precursor to what I'm aiming for, which is, you know, building up this program, figuring out my squat form and my deadlift form first of all, perfecting it, and then making sure that when I do the program, I'm not just looking for numbers, you know, I'm looking for a safe, effective routine that will push me further and not injure my back or my hip. Anyway guys, so that's the video today. Thanks for hanging out. This is a little bit of a different angle. I'm actually sitting in front of my computer watching the video. Yeah, let me know if you like these kinds of videos. Let me know what else you need to know, and if I can help at all, I will. With that, I'll see you guys tomorrow.